Sri Lanka was the last place I expected to find myself. I had never even heard of the country until the summer before my senior year when I was offered the opportunity to travel to Sri Lanka on a 3-week mission trip. Sri Lanka is an island nation just south of India. If we look on a globe, here is Sri Lanka, and the United States is all the way on the other side of the world. Our traveling to Sri Lanka took over 24 hours, including layovers. We started out in Indianapolis and we flew to Chicago. And from Chicago, we flew to London, and that was an 8-hour flight. From London, we flew to Colombo, Sri Lanka, which was 10 hours. When we were on the flight there, the 10-hour flight, our flight attendants wore saris, and that's what the people of Sri Lanka wear. While I was in Sri Lanka, I was able to get a sari. This is an example of what a sari would look like. Here's a shirt that goes underneath the material and a skirt. And then this is the fabric that I picked out. It's just a long piece of fabric that the women wrap themselves up in. Once we arrived in Colombo, we had a bus ride that was 12 hours across the island. We rode on roughly paved roads and maybe even some dirt roads. We spent 16 days ministering to the people of Sri Lanka. We went to Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim villages. Sri Lanka is a poverty-stricken island. Their diet consisted of rice with curry and other hot spices, and also some chicken, bread, and eggs were also served to us. I had never been out of the country before, and so traveling to Sri Lanka opened my eyes to the poverty and great need that this country had. This country had just finished a war in 2009 that had lasted 27 years. It was a civil war. In 2004, there was a horrific tsunami that struck. We visited Sri Lanka in 2011, and in 2011 we still saw damage from all of those tragedies. We visited a village where it was mainly women and children with no father because the fathers were killed in the war. We also visited a village where whole families were wiped out and disappeared in the tsunami. We were able to offer these families that had been hurt by these tragedies hope and joy. The people of Sri Lanka were very thankful for us and were very hospitable. While I was in Sri Lanka, I was able to go on an elephant ride. It wasn't a normal elephant ride like we would think of at the zoo, but we rode all the way into the heart of the jungle. It wasn't the safest thing I could do, but it was fun. My trip to Sri Lanka changed me in many ways. It made me very thankful for all the things that I have every day that I take for granted.